Hello everybody, this is Dr. Will Clower. There. All better. I think we are ready to get going. What time is it? We're 1 o'clock. Good. So, welcome to the Chocolate Book Club. I'm Dr. Will Clower, and I'm very excited. Today we're going to be talking about exercise and the impact of chocolate and cocoa on your, what does it do, and how do you apply it? How do you boost your workout so that you can get more out of it? And if you're not an athlete, how do you apply it? And what do you expect from that? What's the science behind it? And more importantly, how can normal people, me and you and my mom, how can we make it work? And what do you expect? Good. Now, as we go, as we always do, when I'm talking, if you have questions, type it into the chat spot. And if it comes up and you have questions for me in the chat space, or if you just want to say hey, then just say hey, okay? All good? Hello? Good. So, as we do on the Chocolate Book Club, this is work from my book, the Eat Chocolate, Lose Weight. Just came out. It's doing really well, by the way. But I want to read. I have to put old man glasses on for you. And as we do every week, I'm going to read a little part of this, because it's a book club, as a way to define what we're going to be talking about. Cool? Good. Oh, look, words. Crazy. All right. Just relax. Breathe in, breathe out, because I'm going to turn your head upside down again. We know that working out in the gym is supposed to be good for the type A go-getter people who really take care of their bodies, right? We also know that eating chocolate every day, by contrast, is said to be for the slackers, the slugs, who don't really care about their physique at all. In fact, most people think that chocolate and exercise have this kind of weird relationship to each other. Exercise, for example, is what you have to do to atone for the sin of eating chocolate. And chocolate is what you get to eat as a treat for having gone through the pain of exercise. This is what the rationalization that goes through people's heads. This is what they say. If I want to eat that chocolate bar, I'm going to have to pound out 10 miles on the treadmill, or else I'll gain 10 pounds. In other words, chocolate is to exercise as pleasure is to pain, and that the equation between those two must balance. Welcome to our disordered culture of health. It's a symptom of what is wrong with our culture of health and why it produces the obesity rates that we see around us. So, let me just set this here. Okay. What I'm going to tell you is that chocolate is not the problem. Chocolate is the solution. We've already talked about in this book club how there's good chocolate and there's bad chocolate. And so, of course, I'm talking about the good chocolate. But there are reasons from research why that wonderful chocolate helps to boost your metabolism. It helps to boost your workout. Now, you don't listen. There are some people who are listening to this and they're like, but I don't like to work out. I don't like to go to the gym. I hate it. You know what? You're not the exception to the rule. You are the rule. Most people are like you. Look around the earth. Look around the earth. Who goes to the gym? Nobody but us, the fat people. You know, we're the ones who go to the gym all the time and drink diet sodas, the ones with the problem. If you just want to be active, chocolate also helps. It helps you if you're an athlete, and most of the research, frankly, is done in athletes. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is geared toward them. But if you're just somebody who wants to be more active and wants to burn more calories in the day, you know, you can do that. You don't have to dunk from the foul line. You don't have to run a marathon. You don't have to swim the English Channel or get yelled at by Jillian Michaels once a week in order to take advantage of what chocolate has to offer for you. Does that make sense? So to understand that, First of all, let me explain the science. What does the science tell us about what is happening when you consume this, frankly, cocoa? This is it's my stash of cocoa. And as we said before, those of you who've been paying attention, I love you, pay attention. The natural unsweetened, undutched cocoa is the best. Good? So, what happens when you consume cocoa, either pure or in the form of chocolate? Either one. What happens is, these are data. I never saw this coming. When I started researching this book, I started reading this, I was like, wow, you never hear this. What happens is, with consistent consumption of cocoa, whether on its own or in chocolate, you get something that happens where the blood vessels grow into your muscles. You get more vascularization into your muscle tissue. And that's not just skeletal muscle. It's also cardiac muscle. So it's great for you. It's great for your muscles. You get more oxygen in all the little capillaries. Do you guys know what capillaries are? You know how like you have your heart and you have big veins, tubes that come out and carry blood, and then when they go downstream into up to your brain or down to your muscles, they get into the little smaller arterioles, and then little smaller ones of that, and the very smallest ones, they're called capillaries. The reason why you need those is because that's where oxygen is exchanged with the tissue. That's where nutrients are exchanged with your tissue. When you have, so what happens? So great, so you got more blood supply into your tissues. What does that have to do with energy though? Where's the link up there? Great, blood supply, oxygen, whatever. It also turns out in more research data that when you consume chocolate and cocoa in the form of cocoa or cocoa in the form of chocolate, you also, in addition to an increased vascularization, more capillaries, you also get more of these little tiny things in your muscles. They're called mitochondria. You get more mitochondria. Mighty mitochondria. No, mitochondria. I'm a science guy. I know what that is. But most people don't know what mitochondria are. I say mitochondria and they're like, yeah. Mitochondria, they call them organelles. Not organs like, your heart's an organ, your liver's an organ, your spleen. Those are organs. These are called organelles. It's kind of like you know how Pluto, it used to be in our solar system. It used to be a planet. It was in the family. It was one of us. It rotated around. It's one of us. Yeah, it's out there. We named it Cartoon Dog after it. It's one of us, right? But then somebody looked at it and they said it's so small that we're going to call it, it's not a planet anymore. It's kind of a planet. It's a planet. Just like those little teeny organs are not organs. They're organelles. But they do the same thing as organs. They perform a certain function. Mitochondria are organelles. These organelles do things like these particular organelles create energy. The energy that you experience because these things are creating it. One little teeny tiny little piece at a time. If you have more of those, you have more energy. Do you see how that works? And I just have to tell you that each individual mitochondria, they're shaped like little footballs. Inside the footballs are these little folded up sheet inside of it. The more times you get folds, the more space you have on the sheet inside the mitochondria to produce energy. So when you consume more, how does this get back to chocolate? Okay. How it gets back to chocolate is that when you have more high cocoa chocolate, not only do you get more of these organelles, but the folding in that sheet gets more and more and more and more and more. So each one ends up making more ATP. It's more energy. And so it's like a multiplication of the effect. You get more of these, but each one of these are more efficient at creating energy. And you get that by having this over, depending on the study you look at, 2 to 4 weeks, call it 4 weeks. Consistent consumption of high cocoa chocolate. What's the outcome of this? The outcome of this for me and you and my mom, for normal people, is that you experience, these are data. I'm reading research right now, remembering research. It's in my head. Some people remember old songs from the Eagles' Greatest Hits album. I remember data. It's weird. It's a sickness. I know. I can't help it. When you have consistent consumption of cocoa, in the form of cocoa or dark chocolate, you can experience a 30% increase in your energy level. 30% increase in your energy level. Not a 5% increase, which would be awesome, right? Or 10 or 15. It's a 30% increase. So you have more energy in the day in order to move. Now, do you have to do anything to get this? Do you have to exercise in order to also get this energy boost? No, you don't. You can still hang out on the couch if you want. You'll still get the positive impact of increased vascularization in your muscle tissue and your cardiac tissue. That's great. Awesome. And in your brain, by the way. However, if you combine consumption of cocoa with exercise, then that effect goes from 30% to just over 50%. In other words, it almost doubles if you combine this with exercise. So, here we are to today's subject, and that is, how do you use chocolate to supercharge your activity level? Two things happen. Number one, you get more energy, right? And so you're more likely to haul yourself off the couch. You're more likely, you got this routine in your head and you're like, okay, I got to do my 30 minutes in the morning, or I got to do my walk in the afternoon, and you have that. But sometimes you're like, slug. I just don't feel like it. When you have high cocoa chocolate, cocoa, over 2 to 4 weeks, that feeling is less likely to happen by 30 to 50%. It's less likely to happen because you have more energy. The second thing that happens is if you're an athlete, or you're just somebody who walks, right, who moves, who plays, who dances, whatever, your fatigue resistance is lessened by a lot. In exercise cyclists, in any athletes at all, when they give them chocolate, and in the form of a drink or in the form of solid chocolate, high cocoa chocolate, your fatigue resistance drops. Exercise cyclists can go, there's one study, they went an average of, like, these are people who ride forever. I have no idea where they find the time in their day. I talk to these people, and they're like, yeah, I ride for 3 hours a day. And I'm like, where did you find 3 hours? What is it, behind the couch? I don't know where you get 3 hours extra in your day. But they do. And these people, after consuming cocoa, would get, in one study, 32 minutes extra out of their ride. And this took like 4 to 6 weeks of exposure. It took that long to get the capillaries to grow, to get the mitochondria to flourish, to get the energy to happen. But you don't have to be an exerciser. You don't have to be a cyclist to get the benefit. It's funny when you read the literature, the science, because this stuff, the cocoa, the chocolate, is good for you before your exercise and after the exercise. I mean, it's good for you to help you get more energy in your day, help you to make your routine, your exercise routine, work better for you. But it also, because the cocoa in this is an anti-inflammatory. It's anti-inflammatory. I know what, so when I run marathons, if I run marathon, I haven't done it in like last year I did a half. And the 2 years before I did marathons. But when I would do it and I would talk to marathoners, they would say, you know, now that you're ancient, because I'm so old, once you're old, your bones knock against each other. You know, a good idea is to take a little ibuprofen because it's anti-inflammatory and it will help you in your run. You know what else is anti-inflammatory? Cocoa. As a matter of fact, people, these are runners. Now, you may not be a runner, but like as you get old, you know your bones hurt. They creak. If this is you, and you consume high cocoa content stuff, then what ends up happening is that the perceived pain afterwards is decreased. Like you don't feel the creakiness afterwards. You don't feel it. Is that psychological or is it physical? There's reasons to believe it's physical. Because in your blood, there are measures, isoproteins, proteins. There are measures of inflammation in your body. And you can take somebody's blood and find out if they're there. And when they have people do an exercise thing, and one group they give this, and the other group they give a placebo, what they find is that the people who have this don't have those inflammatory markers. Don't have them. It's as if, like, before they ever started running, it's the same level. In other words, it blocks it. It's a beautiful thing. So, what I want you to do, this is your homework. You have homework. You always have. I always give you homework, but it always involves chocolate. So, we can live with that. And your homework is to include cocoa in some form prior to and then after your chocolate. Good? What do? If you want to boost your energy level, if you want to boost your workouts, supercharge them. You add cocoa. These two pieces, this thing, this is 100% cocoa. I don't do it for the flavor. I mean, I like the flavor now. It's okay. But I do it because of I'm doing this chocolate challenge. And in this particular chocolate challenge, you need to add this cocoa. You can use 85%, just as high of a percentage of cocoa as you can, 1 hour before you work out. If you're an exerciser and you're like, okay, I got to exercise in the morning, then have this 1 hour before you work out. Good? The reason why is that you need to have it well before, because as you guys know, when you exercise, your body will go into a sympathetic nervous system mode where it shuts down blood supply to your digestive system and it routes it to your muscles, your lungs, and your brain where it thinks you need it. And so it'll shut down digestion basically. And so you just need to have the chocolate on board about an hour before. Good? And I'm telling you data. Those exercise cyclists, I mean, they're burning Michael Phelps level calories every day. They would have one of these bars an hour and a half before they eat. One entire bar. Of course, they're going to burn all of it off, but you're not going to burn all of that off. You can have 2 thumb bite size pieces if you're just a casual exerciser. If you're exercising, actually, then you can have 4 of these. It needs to be 85% or higher. Good? Prior to your workout, about an hour. And then your recovery drink on the back end is going to be a drink. And that will be a cocoa-based drink. So what you do is you get your cup of, and I'm going to suggest that you use, if you are someone who can tolerate dairy, then put it in milk. Put it in milk. Regular, normal milk. You don't need... we can have a conversation about low-fat dairy, me and you. That's a different day. Ask me, I'll tell you. But for now, breathe in, breathe out. normal dairy in your cup, and I want you to add the equivalent of, I'm going to do this for you, 2 heaping teaspoons, whoosh, like this, of 1, 2, into your cup. It's a good idea, this is just for practice, it's a good idea for you to heat the whatever you have, whether it's soy milk, almond milk. Almond milk is amazing, and or normal milk. Beforehand, it'll help it be absorbed. And this is your recovery drink. 4 weeks. We have this. Me and you. We're going to do this. I need you for 4 weeks. Something that I use, my little helper. It's my little battery charged helper. It's a whisk. Look at this. I love this thing. I just stick this in here. Whoosh. Oh my God, that's awesome. And it whisks it in. You don't have to have one of these. Whoosh. Boom. All done. Love it. But it helps. I got this. My daughter got me this for Christmas. We were walking around the shops. She was like, I don't know what to get you, Dad. And so we were like hanging out in one of the sur la table or something, one of the kitchen stores where we belong, right? And it's just like you stay in there forever. Anyway, I was looking, I saw this thing, and it was like, oh, it's a whisker, micro whisker, and it just goes, a little battery charged thing. It's wonderful. I said, that's what you want for me. And now she tells people that all the time. I got my dad this great thing. Well, I told you to. Your homework, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to boost your workouts. And how you do that is you add chocolate on the front end, a cocoa drink with the liquid of your choosing on the back end. Good? Now, you and I are going to be scientists about this. What I want you to do as a scientist is to get a baseline first. So right now, what there is for you to do is to take your baseline. If you're an athlete and you run on treadmills on purpose, you know who you are. Then what I want you to do is to get your numbers. I run 3 miles at this amount, and this is my speed, and this is my distance. Get your numbers. And then you're going to apply this chocolate challenge for 4 to 6 weeks. After 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to come back. 4 weeks. That's what you're going to do for me, okay? And then you're going to come back. You're going to take your data on the other end, and you're going to see the difference it makes in your life, the difference it makes in your workout. Cool? Now, if you're an everyday person, most people are not athletes. If you're an everyday person, what I want you to do is to, right now, this moment, think and estimate on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your average energy level through the day? Because that thing is going to increase. We're gonna pull that up. So you have more, you're burning more calories in the background. So you're raising your basal metabolic rate. So you're able to move more in your day. You're going to increase your energy level. So right now, right here, I want you to estimate on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your activity level? I'm sorry, I just said that wrong. Where is your energy level? There. Better? Where's your energy level? Scale of 1 to 10. Write it down. And then, before you go for your walks, before you do your physical activity thing, whatever your physical activity thing is, you need to, by the way, you do need to pair this with your physical activity. When you pair them in conjunction with each other, the impact of that cocoa is almost doubled from 30 to 50%. Just over 50. Good? So, commit with me. Right here, right now, commit with me. 4 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks if you can. Take your baseline. How much energy do you have in your day? And then you have this prior to going on your activity. And then you have a cup. after you come back. Do that for your 4 weeks, and then at the end you come back and tell me where's your energy level? Because if it was at a 5, it's going to be at a 7. And if everything else stays the same, what you're eating and how you're eating it, then you're going to be in smaller pants. I just got to say, June is coming. Bikinis are out there. And if you're thinking, okay, here's you got this caliper in your brain, you're like, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, then commit with me to eat clean, eat in control, pull your sweet tooth. These are the things that we've covered in this series. And then supercharge your workout, or just being active. This is before, this is after. This is about an hour before, this is whenever after. Recovery drink. Good? Does that make sense? Okay, last thing. And I gotta go. I love you guys, but I have to go. I have stuff to do. Can't you use existing recovery drinks? Oh, look, I just happen to have one. This has high fructose corn syrup in it. No high fructose corn syrup. This has red number 40, a dye. Originally from coal tar, it's a hydrocarbon. No hydrocarbons. Honey, honey, honey. Put the hydrocarbon down. That does not go in your mouth. This is another one that people use because they think it's okay. This is a non-milk muscle milk that's vanilla but artificially flavored. It's a non-vanilla, non-milk milk with enough preservatives, stabilizers, and chemicals to give this thing a shelf life of steel-belted radials. You put this in a time capsule with a Twinkie, then they'll come back in the year 2475 and go, I don't know what it is. Is it toxic? Here, look, these are the ingredients. It's crazy. Please substitute this craziness for this and this. Your body, your brain, your metabolism, and your pant size will all thank you. Make sense? All right, you guys. Listen, huge love. Let me know if you have any questions at all. You can get in touch with us, info at my email, willclower.com, info at willclower.com. And let me know what you think, okay? Or if you have any questions at all. All right? All right, listen. Have an awesome weekend, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.